welcome to Yin Yoga today. I'm Kat, if we've not met before, and I'll be guiding you through the next hour of your Yin practice today. So just checking that you've got some props at home, either a yoga bolster, some blocks and a blanket, or thick towels can work, cushions, pillows, anything soft and supportive that can hold you today. So your invitation right now is to get comfortable. So have a lie down if that feels good for you. I'm going to stay in my seat today, but feel free to have a lay down, put a cushion underneath the backs of the knees, underneath the back of the head. If you're feeling quite cool today, feel free to place a blanket over yourself, especially over the hips. And closing down the eyes or taking a soft gaze down towards the tip of your nose. There's nowhere to be, nothing to worry about today. This is your time just for you. So always taking these first few moments to arrive, to center, to ground, and checking in. How are you feeling today? There's never a wrong answer. Let go of any expectations. Just meeting yourself in the here and the now. Maybe noticing if you've got any niggles today, any sore spots. Just so you can pay attention to these areas and not go too much past your point of resistance, your first edge. Or maybe today you need to back off a little bit. Or maybe the opposite, maybe you're feeling quite spacious today, quite juicy, and your edge maybe a little bit deeper. Always remembering it's your practice, your body, and Yin just invites you to do what feels right for you. In today's practice, we'll be focusing on the dragon family from my lineage of Yin Yoga from Paul and Susie Grilly. So traditionally in the 7 archetypes, the dragon sequence is part of Paul and Susie's Yang sequences, the walking the dragon. But of course, all theories are incomplete, things adapt, things change. So for me, I like to take the dragon archetype and turn it into Yin. As we know, we've got plenty of different dragon type shapes within Yin Yoga. So the dragon sequence, the dragon family targets all the muscles and joints group. It can envelop the whole body depending on what flavor we add, what variety to our dragon shapes. But mainly, dragons do work like the dragon lunge that you may be familiar with, working around the hips, the legs, especially the quads, hip flexors, bring some juice into the knees and the feet. So that's why we're going today with our shapes, working with the dragon family and its relevant energetic flavors. So bring your awareness down to the lower body, noticing how the lower back feels, hips, thighs, knees, ankles. And depending on what position you're in, can you really allow the lower body to soften a bit more? And noticing any thoughts that have suddenly popped up with today's theme. Absolutely normal to start pondering, observing what might be coming next. That's the great thing about Yin, just bringing us into present moment awareness. Try not to overthink or anticipate. Just being here in the now. So slowly start to bring some movement into your fingers, into your toes, giving them a little wriggle. Slowly awakening. Might like to have a stretch, bringing knees to chest if you're on your back. If you're still seated, just having a little roll around with the shoulders, maybe a little twist side to side through the spine. And then when you're ready, coming on up to a seat, so roll to one side, take your time to come on up. For our first shape, butterfly pose. So drawing the soles of the feet together, knees drop out to the side. Target tissues of the inner thigh, so maybe some sensation on the front of the hips and into the whole spine. So if the knees are sitting quite high, if it's feeling pinchy already in the front of the hips, sit up on something, either a block, a cushion, folded blanket. If your knees need supporting today, remember it's not a weakness to need support and use your props. Maybe just feeling very yin today. You can have your bolster or 2 blocks or 2 cushions underneath the knees. Or you can have the bolster out in front of you. So lifting out of the lower back. Reach the chest forward and down into a rounded forward fold. And as you come forward and down, pay attention to what's happening in the inner thighs. So make sure we're feeling nice broad sensation for the inner legs and the spine. So make your adjustments, have a play with your props. Find your comfortable first edge where you can feel something, but not too much, not too little. If it's okay to let the chin nod in, you can. Our 4 minutes starts from here. And of course, you're welcome to support the head, chin in hands, or support the forehead as needed. Just tuning into your body today, noticing how this first shape feels. And the first shape may always feel a little bit stickier, we're not quite warm, we haven't got the chi flowing, the fluids flowing yet. That's why I always start with a relatively accessible shape to start with. Remembering there's no special breath for yin, just breathing nice and easy, freely, no need to direct the breath, unless of course you want to. If you feel like there's an area that does feel a little bit sticky, you like to flow some awareness there, you can. Notice over the long holds today how the body does start to soften and naturally yield by itself. And if you feel this starting to happen, just allow it to. And also a reminder, don't feel trapped, even though the holds are 4 minutes. If you need to come out early, please do. We've got just over 1 more minute left, so I'll give you some space here just to settle in, to ground, to see how you're doing today. And I'll let you know when the final minute is up. Last few moments, starting to deepen your inhale just to let the body know we're getting ready to move. And slowly pressing into the hands, lifting the chest. Chin rises last. You can move props off to the side, draw the knees in. Welcome to sit, elbows to knees in an egg shape, or have a lay down onto your back. And just notice how you feel here, especially on the inner thighs, spine. Sometimes it's easy just to lay down and be completely neutral, no tension in the body, to feel the rebound effect. And the rebound can appear on all levels, not just physical, maybe an emotional rebound, energetic, or maybe there's some thoughts bouncing around. Again, always remembering, just be the impartial witness, allow whatever's there to be there. If you're on your back, roll into your side and come on up, and just making sure you've got all your props in easy reaching distance as we flip around into tabletop, cushioning underneath the knees, always a good one, as we're going to come into our first dragon. But first, a little bit of a warm up through marauding bear. So coming into tabletop, and we'll just start to move in any way that feels nice for you, just stirring sensation, especially around the spine, the hips, just getting the synovial fluid, the lubrication fluid of the joints to move. Especially when we're working around the hips like we will be doing in dragon today. Big joint areas, lots of fascia, lots of muscles. There's so many different muscles that run around the hip area, and a lot of fascia to hold everything together. So we've got big areas of tissues and muscles. Need a lot more synovial fluid to get that moving. And also when we move the chi as well, and chi helps us to feel vibrant. So just take another 30 seconds here, moving freely in any way that feels good for you. Rippling forward into stillness. We'll start with the right leg. So take the right foot forward and wide as your mat. Have your hands inside of the legs. You may like to grab a block or two. You can bring both hands to blocks inside of the right leg. Or if you've only got one block, you can just place your left hand on the block, right elbow on your knee, and just let the hips glide forward. Now this is where we need to make sure the back knee is comfortable. We don't want to focus on the hips and then the back knees shouting at us. So do fold over your blanket. You're welcome to even kneel on a cushion, anything to take the edge off the back knee if it's not happy. Likewise with the ankle, if you need something underneath the ankle. So we've got 4 minutes. So option to stay right here in an upright dragon. And we will add a layer on later, or you might like to come straight down into a low dragon, and you can stack as many cushions, props on top of props to come forward and down. And this is why we come inside of the right leg, so you've got lots of space. If you're trying to come down with the hands framing the front foot, arm would get hooked around the right thigh. And feel free to drop the right knee out to the side, make a wing, oh, I can't see, make a wing dragon if that feels good. So find your edge, targeting the front of the back leg into the quad, the hip flexor. Notice how the front hip feels. You may feel more sensation to the hip crease, it may be landing more in the glute. Settle in. Now a dragon lunge can be perceived as a little bit more yang. As I mentioned, originally the dragon family were part of the yang sequence in Paul's repertoire. So there will be some muscles here holding us, so definitely I can feel it in the arms, the shoulders, and even then just having awareness, I just let the shoulders drop, and that's taking the efforting out of the upper body. awareness around the hip area. It's okay to back off a little bit. If you've come into low dragon, you feel like, oh, that's a little bit too much for now, you can always back off. Or likewise, if you feel the body softening and sinking, allow it to. As we creep towards the final minute, we can add another layer only if you wish, coming into the dragon twist. So you may like to come up onto the hands, or it's fine to stay low and sweep the right hand back behind you. So this may be enough for you, just taking the twist like so. You may even just wrap your right hand loosely around your lower back. Or if you'd like to come into dragon tail, this will just switch on sensation on the front of the left quad a little bit more. It will put more pressure on the knee, so please be careful. So the two options here, either just a twisted dragon or a dragon tail, or you can stay exactly where you are, whichever feels good for you. Just under final minute. Last few breaths. Nice and slow, unraveling. You can step back to maybe a half split, feels good. Just stretch out the front leg. Or feel free to step back into child's pose, but if the knees need a rest, come on down, move your props, and slide into crocodile. And then notice how you're feeling, especially around the hips. If you need a bit of a sway side to side, or some reverse windscreen wipers, feel free. Coming back on up to tabletop, we'll take our dragon lunge on to the other side. So stepping the left foot forward and wide, make sure the right knee's happy. Again, we have 4 minutes, but we'll just take this first few moments just to feel into the hips. So targeting the front of the right leg, quad, hip flexor, and then again, depending on what angle your foot's at, you may feel sensation more in the left hip crease or into the glute. So we'll add our same layers for the final minute, but these first 3 minutes, entirely up to you how you take them, whether you stay upright or come on forward and down into a low dragon. May feel different on this side, just be aware. Tension and tightness in the muscles and tissues may be different for the left hip, and our skeletal structure may be different. And we don't overthink it too much, but just being aware of these things. Why one side may not feel exactly like the other, we may not be able to make exactly the same outline. So again, remember what I mentioned on the other side, a little bit more of a yang shape, more muscles are switched on to holders. So where can we soften, where can we find the yin here? So I'll just give you a little bit of space here for the next 2 minutes, and I'll let you know when we can add our layers. working towards the final minute, so option to stay where you are in a dragon, or you might like to come up for our dragon twist or tail. So you may like to come up onto the hands. Left hand reaches back behind you now. You can be here if you'd like to be a bit more active, or wrap the left hand around the lower back. Your chin can follow the hand. Or maybe you'd like to bend up the right leg and grab your dragon tail, and this will switch on the front of the right hip and quad a bit more, and you're so welcome to be in a low variation. So find your flavour. If anything is ouch in the right knee, just lose the tail and take the twist. Final minute, or just under final minute. Last few breaths. Nice and slow, unraveling your dragon. Again, you may like to just straighten out the front leg into a half split. Stepping back, either child's pose, a kneel, or down into crocodile. Anywhere where you can fully relax. And then notice how you feel, especially around the hips. If you're not on your fronts, just gliding forward onto your fronts now for gecko. So gecko is a bit of a hybrid of a half frog and a sphinx pose. So coming up onto your forearms, elbows, just like we would do for a sphinx. And we'll start with the left leg. Bring the left leg out to the side, make half a frog. If your knee goes onto a hard floor, please make sure you've got a little blanket there or a cushion. So we're targeting into the left hip crease, but also into the lower back. So if this feels a bit of an effort to hold yourself here, slide the bolster underneath. And just like we would do in a sphinx, you can cup your chin in your hands. You can have forehead to block. Just anything to help soften and support you here as we focus around the lower back hip area. And you don't have to flex the left foot too strongly, you can just let it soften. And then just notice how you feel. There may be sensation in other areas of the body as well. Just make sure nothing's too pinchy or ouch, especially into the lower back and the hip. The dragon family, as it targets all the joints in various forms and muscle groups and tissue groups, likewise with the meridians, energetically. So the main meridians that run, like especially around the hips, is the gallbladder and the liver. Gallbladder more on the outer hip, and definitely in our layers with the dragon twist coming into a twist the side body. And the gallbladder is paired with the liver on the inner thigh, so right where we're stressing a bit into the inner thighs here, but also liver runs up the front of the body, just into up towards the top of the chest. And these are our spring meridians. And our meridians that help us with new beginnings, fresh starts, and our creative inspiration. We can call upon gallbladder and liver anytime we need to get organised, get sorted out, get a little bit of drive, direction going in our lives. It's really helping to shake up any stagnation, especially if we've been feeling a little bit stuck, a little bit stagnant. So it's the last few moments here on this side. And slowly sliding the left leg in, and just take a moment here. If you just need to move the bolster forward and take a crocodile for a pause, just let the lower back rest. And coming up to the other side, so if the bolster is handy to lean in on, scooch it back between the front ribs and the elbows, and the right leg comes out to the side. Make half a frog's leg. Again, please have a blanket underneath the knee as needed. We'll take 3 minutes on this side. So second time we've come into the lower back, but notice how sensation has shifted. Hips have moved over to the left, so we've got a long line of energy down the left side, and compression into the right hip. So Dragon family are great for any time we need a little bit of motivation, getting organised, getting focused. Especially if you need a bit of a switch and a change. And of course we don't have to wait till spring to work with gallbladder and liver. They're there all the time, and they're actually at the end of the meridian clock, right? 11 p.m. till 1 a.m. So we never get to actually practice at gallbladder and liver o'clock unless you're up all night. But we can still connect to them any time of day. So have a ponder for these next 2 minutes here. We can take this reflection into the next shape too. Do you need a little bit of organising right now, a bit of direction, focus, inspiration to try something new and different, shake things up a bit? I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Last few moments. Nice and slow. Slide the right leg in. You can move any bolsters. Come down to crocodile, or feel free to pop back into a kneel or a child's pose. And from here we can just roll over onto our backs. Bend up the knees, can move any blankets off to the side. Keep your cushioning, bolster or pillows handy. And just take a few windscreen wipers with the legs. Done quite a bit of hips already today. So bring the feet wide and just drop the knees side to side. Bringing the knees back to centre for baby dragon. So we'll set up just like we would do for a restorative bridge. So lifting the hips and slide your cushioning underneath the back of the pelvis, but maybe a little bit higher up into the lower back if that feels good. So get nice and settled on your cushioning. We'll start with the right leg. So bringing the right leg in towards the chest, interlacing fingers just below the knee, or we can hold behind the knee. Left foot can stay on the floor for a moment. So bringing the right knee out to the side, down and back a little bit, so feeling compressing into the front of the hip. You may feel a stretchy sensation for the glute. Now the left leg can stretch long like we would do in a bridge or a pontoon. Or we can rock back a little bit so the left leg floats. If you just draw the right knee towards you, just rock the pelvis back and just see my foot's floating a bit. It doesn't have to be too high. Just find a little tilt pivot point here, and this will just bring some extra sensation to the front of the left hip flexor. But also just add a bit of extra tension into the right hip. So pretty much just like our upright dragon and our dragon lunge, but upside down. So straightening out one leg, compressing, bending the other one. Just noticing how the hips feel here. This is a nice variation as well because it takes the knees out of it. So anytime you do a dragon lunge, you're not feeling it, this can also be an alternate. So we'll carry on with our self-reflection here on this side from the last shape. Anything need tidying up, any inspiration that needs bringing in? Where can we direct creative chi that we uplift when working with the gallbladder and liver and around the hips for the dragon family? I'll let you know how much time's left. point, if the left leg needs to come, or the left heel needs to come to the floor, just to take the edge off, that is fine. Or maybe if the left heel, was on the floor, you can just rock back for the final minute. Last few breaths. Slowly releasing. Now leave it up to you. You may just come back to feet on the floor, knees bent. Hip flexors, front of hips may feel a little bit achy. You can stretch the legs, take a pontoon, or maybe it might feel nice just to stick the legs up in the air, take waterfall, and just feel the circulation trickling down towards the hips. Notice how the right leg feels, how the left leg feels. Bending through the knees, feet come down. Adjust your bolster if you need to. Or come to the left leg, baby dragon. Bending the left knee, hugging left knee towards chest. Again, you can hold just below the knee, you can hold behind the knee. Find your preferred position for your hand grip. And then let's have a play with the right leg. Right leg can go long, you can just rest the heel on the floor. Or rock the hips back slightly so the right foot floats. And we've got our 4 minutes here. And another thing to be aware of when we're working with the gallbladder and the liver is the emotion for these two meridians is frustration. How often does frustration come up when you've been working with the hips? So different wisdom traditions that associate frustration with the hip area. But from the Chinese philosophy, it's related directly to the gallbladder and the liver. Frustration, being held in these organs energetically. So maybe frustration shows up when we're being creative. We get an idea, we want to do a fresh start, but then it doesn't work out as planned. So another great thing about the gallbladder and the liver essence is it reminds us to be adaptable, to move with change. Yes, we have an idea, we're going to do this thing, we're going to change everything up, but not being too rigid in the end goal. Remembering to make a plan, but then things change, and being able to adapt. So sometimes when we have to change and pivot and things may take a totally different road to what we first thought, may actually be a better road. So whenever we're co-creating with the universe, have an idea, have an intention, but then always say at the end, this or something better, and being very open to being directed. Or else frustration shows up, it's not working out how we planned, we get too narrow-minded, we can't see. We've got the tunnel vision, we're not seeing what else is around us that's helping us, that's even better. And the sense organ for gallbladder and liver is the eyes. It's helping us to see all angles, all options. So So I'll leave you with that thought as we creep towards the final minute. Again, if you need to rest the right heel down or float it for the final minute, please do. Last few breaths. Releasing the left leg. Again, take a rebound in any position, whether it's just in a bridge, a waterfall, or this time you might like to scooch the bolster out of the way and just come all the way down and have a shavasana, have a sigh, have a groan. Let's how the hips feel. Finishing off with a twist today. So if you've still got the bolster underneath the hips, move it off to the left hand side. So if you like to use your cushioning, bringing it over to the left so it's there waiting for you. Just make sure you've got some space to stretch your arms out if that feels good, bending up the knees. Always the option of crossing the right leg over the left. Hips might feel a little bit more spacious now, or just keep the knees stacked. So drop left knee to the left, right knee on top. Bolster cushions there, you can cross the right leg over the left and land it onto the prop. Or maybe both legs come up onto the bolster today, whether they're bound or not. And have a play with the arms. If the the right shoulder feels a bit awkward, if it's floating a bit, make your adjustments. You don't have to tuck the hips under so much. You can bring the hips back over to the left a bit. Have a play with wriggling around to get the right shoulder comfortable. And we've got 4 minutes here, so you might like to turn your chin towards your right shoulder and really wriggle around, make the twist feel nice for you today. So even though knees are to the left, noticing the right ribs, I just had to have a shuffle around myself to get the right spot. Yeah, and have a reflect on what I've shared today around the energetic philosophy, also around the hips. Especially do a lot of sitting in our modern lives. Yeah, everything can get a little bit dry, a bit sticky. It's always good to get moving. And that's another useful tip for gallbladder and liver. Anytime we feel a bit stuck, a bit stagnated, uninspired, just get moving. Whether it's through a yin practice or maybe a little bit more yang, anything that gets us moving, so we can see what's around us, not getting stuck in that one spot. So I'll leave you with that, just over the final 2 minutes. come out early or make any changes, please do. Last few breaths. Head back to center, legs to follow. Just take a pause in between, just shuffle the hips back to neutral. Notice how you feel. Good opportunity to bring your cushioning over to the right side. And we'll take our shape over to the right, our twisted roots. Bending up the knees, feet on the floor. Get an option to twist your roots, left leg over the right. And shuffling the hips over, cross the knees over towards the right side. Get bolsters there, you can land one or both legs on the bolster. And again, it may feel different for this side of the body, so feeling into the left side ribs, left outer hip. 4 minutes here. Don't forget you can turn your chin towards your left shoulder and settle in. Any final reflections? Just observing as well from a slightly more yang dragon holds. Now we can really just soften into this final side and really find our yin. Just over 1 more minute left. last few moments. Head back to center, legs to follow, have a sigh. Notice how the hips feel. If you need to take another windscreen wiper side to side just to stir the sensation, you can. Now it's time to glide into final rest. So your bolster may just slide straight underneath the backs of the knees, have some cushioning for the head. If you're feeling a bit cool, throw a blanket over. Get really snuggly and cozy. And this is where I'll leave you for today. So you take as long as you like resting here in Shavasana, ideally 5 minutes. If you'd like to stay for 10, if it's the end of your day and you can just drift off into bed, into sleep, you can. Absolute delight as always to guide you through the dragon family with the gallbladder and the liver meridians today. So I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, thank you so much.